Alright, hello everyone. Welcome today to a special video of Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. Now, the reason I'm playing this today, it's basically because of the recent Superman vs. Goku Part 2. Really, I don't even know what I'm doing. Huh. Well, there's that. So, basically, at the end of the fight, both of the commentators ended up saying that it's impossible for Goku to breathe in space. Although, I believe that's technically wrong. And in a way, they have to be wrong because it is stated by King Kai early in the series that Saiyans were born with the unique ability to fight anywhere. And unless I'm mistaken, anywhere also includes in space. I suck at this game. I mean, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the Dragon Ball theory of being able to fight in outer space or breathe in it even, but I don't believe it's impossible. Considering that now Goku and Vegeta are gods, basically, if I'm not mistaken, that would be considered on par with Beerus. And if you've seen Dragon Ball Super, especially the third episode that recently came out, there's a part where Beerus and Whis, they're just traveling through space, and randomly they stop. I mean, yes, they're aliens, and Beerus is a deity, a god, but if you consider the movie Battle of Gods, it wouldn't be impossible with the god status to survive in outer space. However, the debate is not whether Goku can breathe in outer space, seeing as there's no fucking oxygen in space in the first place. So, no. That answer is no. He cannot breathe in space. I don't care what anyone says. It's not possible. However, the debate is if Goku can survive in space without the need of air, which is a totally different thing, considering that Saiyans, as stated by King Kai, have the unique ability to fight anywhere. So that being said, there are supporting theories, or rather, more like inconsistencies, where Goku was seen in space a couple of times fighting. Not only that, I mean, as a child, Goku ended up taking Boss Rabbit onto the fucking moon or something. Apparently, he only stated he took Boss Rabbit to the moon. He never mentioned how he did it, but it's assumed he had to leave Earth atmosphere at some point. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing. And not only that, when Vegeta was... That's how you do it. When Vegeta was training to become a Super Saiyan, not only was there no oxygen present, even though he did state himself that he was on some random moon during a meteor shower. So that just proves to the point that Vegeta, as well as Goku, don't need oxygen to survive in space. Even if they can't survive, I mean, with their power levels, they should be able to at least have some minimum resistance to being able to survive. I mean, when you're Goku with a base power level of 3 million, or, you know, Super Saiyan power level of 50 million, you can't say it's not possible. There's a lot of supporting theories that let you, you know, say Goku can survive in space. Not only that, you know, people say, oh, well, he can't breathe underwater. Well, can you fucking breathe underwater? No, you can't. There. Your lungs would fill up and you would drown regardless of whether or not you can breathe in space. Because you can't breathe in space, there's no oxygen. You can't breathe water, you'll drown. So, it's not whether or not you can breathe. It's basically if you can survive. Yeah. Get it right, people. I mean, I'm probably contradicting myself a bit as well, but, I mean, if you look into the Dragon Ball Wiki, there's a conversation of whether or not Goku can survive in space. The theory is that, well, my personal theory is he can survive, but for how long is the question. Not to mention that during the return of Cooler, actually, when they blew up the Getty star, Vegeta had to exit the spaceship and blow it up from the outside, which states that, you know, he doesn't need oxygen, he just never told Goku. And I mean, Goku's dumb anyways, so it's not like he would actually believe Vegeta or not. Most likely he'll just say, what? We can breathe in space? Then I could have left Namek a whole lot easier than trying to find a spaceship. But, I mean, probably the reason they have to use spaceships to travel back and forth is to preserve energy. Because it was in one of the episodes early in the Namek saga that, I believe it was the Namek saga. But either the Namek saga or the Android saga. I don't remember it quite well. But it was said that if you fly, you're just wasting energy, so they just decided to run at higher speeds. Because apparently that doesn't waste as much energy as flying. So technically they can fly in outer space, which is what you see sometimes in Dragon Ball episodes, Dragon Ball Z episodes, where they're fighting supposedly up in the stratosphere where the air is very thin. Which, obviously, the stratosphere is way higher than Kami's Lookout. So, I can understand that concept where, you know, there's lack of oxygen, but there's still oxygen in the stratosphere. But not just as an abundance. But it does, even Akito Toriyama stating that you can fight in the stratosphere, that still adds to the proof that you can fight in outer space due to a lack of oxygen, if that makes any sense. Just because Goku is seen huffing and puffing meaning he's tired. I mean, just because he's huffing and puffing doesn't necessarily mean he's trying to get a breath of the air. Regardless of where he is, he's just tired. And you have to consider this. Even as babies, Saiyans were sent out to distant planets to conquer them without any knowledge of the atmosphere conditions, yet they were capable of surviving and conquering entire planets on their own. Yes, with the help of the full moon. But it doesn't change the fact that, you know, if even baby Saiyans can survive anywhere, what's it to say that they can't survive in outer space? And I don't mean breathing, I mean just plain old surviving on their key energy alone, you know? And considering now that Goku and Vegeta have God, deity, energy, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, which is a mouthful. I mean, technically, they're gods. They can survive in space, in the sheer vast of space. And I don't mean just out in the planet's atmosphere or stratosphere. I mean, they can go to some other distant galaxy, survive, and come back without any sign of, you know, injury or death or whatever. Because there is an inconsistency saying that even if they did bring Goku back to life or Krillin back to life, they would end up on planet Namek. Well, yeah, that only contradicts the theory that they can't survive in space, because if they were going to bring back Krillin, Krillin is an Earthling. Regardless of, you know, him using his ki energy, which at that point his power level was probably only at about less than Gohan even. I would, you know, an estimated. I'm not gonna look up power levels, guys, so whatever. But you know, you would estimate that by the by the time Krillin, I guess, got his unlocked potential from, you know, Elder Guru, um, you would, you know, Krillin was strong for a human, but Gohan obviously was miles stronger than him. But if they had brought Krillin back to life, he would have ended up on Namek, where there would be nothing. I mean, considering Krillin is a human, born on Earth, raised on Earth, yeah, he needs oxygen. However, there is a Dragon Ball episode during a tournament where Krillin is fighting the smelly guy. What's his face? But Goku ends up telling him, Krillin, you don't have a nose. And Krillin's like, oh yeah, I don't have a nose. It doesn't bother me. So there goes that theory that, you know, whether or not Krillin can breathe in outer space or not. Because if they brought it up that early that Krillin didn't have a nose, then technically he's not breathing. However, if you look into the Dragon Ball Wiki, it actually states that Krillin's got a special condition or something that allows his skin to absorb the oxygen in the air or something or whatever, but something along those lines to make up for the fact that he doesn't have a fucking nose. That's how they try to write that off. But even if Krillin, you know, was capable of, let's say, surviving in space, I don't think he would be able to last as long as, let's say, a Saiyan, a random Saiyan, due to the fact that you know, his body wouldn't be as naturally resistant to weather or other effects that could possibly freeze him to death in space. It's not really a fact of if he could even breathe at all, because Krillin can't breathe. It's just a matter of can he survive long enough to be rescued. Same with Goku, Vegeta, or pretty much anyone in the series. I mean, it's a huge debate, it's a huge inconsistency, but I don't like how the guys from Screw Attack just bluntly said Goku can't fucking breathe, Superman can. That's still wrong, regardless. But I mean, there's a lot of supporting theories. Hang on. I'm trying to actually look stuff up. Yeah, I even Googled it earlier, yesterday, last night even, right after the fucking battle. Can Goku survive in space? There's a forum in the Dragon Ball wiki that I was using as a reference when I posted my comment in their video, whatever. There's a in the Return of Cooler. There's a quote that there's a quote saying that yeah, they can breathe in space since Vegeta had to exit the ship to destroy the memory on the Big Getty star. Blah blah blah. It's a toss up. See, and then there's a debate. Vegeta was willing to blow up Earth, knowing full well that he would have survived, most likely because he can breathe in space. Not sure his spaceship would have helped much while it was being blown up. So, there. There's someone that says all the Z Warriors can survive in space, but that's yet to be shown of anyone other than Goku fighting way above in the stratosphere. So I don't think Yamcha would have the balls to even go up into the stratosphere in the first place. I mean, he's only human, and he gave up fighting altogether. There's a contradiction quote right here. The only pure-blooded Saiyan that is seen underwater is Goku, and he is unaware of the ability to breathe in space. However, Vegeta needs an oxygen supply while in the recuperation machine on Frieza's ship. There is always a possibility that there are substances in space that may substitute oxygen, but it hasn't really been clearly depicted about breathing in space works. It seems that each time there's evidence of it, it's contradicted. Which is true, because you see, in the movie, they were fighting what people would consider space. But then, when you're talking to, the creator of the Dragon Ball universe, Akito Toriyama, whatever he says goes. If they were fighting in space, they were fighting in space. If they were fighting in the stratosphere, then they were fighting in the stratosphere. If they were fighting inside a gigantic black hole of death, well, they were fighting in a gigantic black hole of death. Basically, his word is law. His word is final. You can't go against him. But there is a lot of evidence suggesting that, hey, they can survive in space. They're blasting each other back and forth. Not only that, I mean, you can't just fucking randomly go to a planet and say, oh, I'm going to train here, like Vegeta said. Even Goku, when he ended up on planet Yardrat, right? There's no fucking possible way that. Oh my god. There's no way that someone can just go to a random planet and expect to survive there a full year. Even Goku didn't know how he. I mean, Goku's just oblivious to the fact of anything. But I mean, as a viewer, as a reader, as a fan of Dragon Ball Z, you're kind of thinking, how is it possible to survive on a strange planet where you don't know the atmospheric conditions? You know, there could be no oxygen at all. The temperatures could be freezing to a point of instant. You know, it can be hot, it can be any type of weather imaginable. But like I said earlier and stated by King Kai, Saiyans were a race of warriors born with a unique ability to fight anywhere. Now, unless I'm mistaken, you know, fighting anywhere would include fighting in space, right? It's not, can he breathe in outer space? Because that's totally fucked up bullshit. You can't breathe in outer space regardless. And with the new Dragon Ball Z Super, Episode 3, like I said, you see Beerus and Whis stopping in the middle of transportation through that light tunnel or whatever, just randomly stopping, and he's like, well, I had this dream about a Super Saiyan, Super something, Super Ganin or whatever, Super Saiyan. And it went on for like about a few seconds, a minute or so even, where they just stopped in the middle of space just to have a random conversation. You know, Beerus is a god of destruction. In the movie Battle of the Gods, Goku is a Super Saiyan god. So, unless I'm mistaken, Beerus is a god. Goku was a god. Beerus can talk in outer space because he's a god. Goku should be able to talk in outer space like Beerus because he's a god. As long as, I believe, as long as they stay in their god form, there shouldn't be a problem with surviving in outer space. Because you're a deity, you're a god. You don't have you don't have necessities of mankind, substances. Not only that, I mean, if Goku can instantaneously teleport to other worlds, on top of that, how do you explain him being able to breathe in other world? It's a place filled with demons and souls, right? Put that into consideration. And he's done it on more than one occasion. He does it constantly just to go train to King Kai's planet. So, I mean, does he really need oxygen in the first place? No. Yes, probably. But, it's something you don't really think about. I mean, these are characters with, power levels into the fucking millions and billions. So, it's not impossible just for them to create a barrier and, fly through space. Broly did it as a baby when he saved his father Paragus on the day that planet Vegeta exploded, supposedly. Though we know it was blown up by Frieza. But it's shown that Broly created a barrier around himself and his father due to the fact that, Broly had a baby power level of 10,000, I believe, at that time. So it wouldn't be impossible to create a barrier of ki just to survive in outer space. because obviously you can't breathe in space, you can't breathe in water, so it relies basically under key energy to survive. It's how do you put it? I don't want to bring another anime into this, but damn. I'm gonna steal something for a minute from Naruto, Lady Tsunade. We all know that Lady Tsunade is an old woman, probably in her 50s or 60s or whatever. But it was stated by Jiraiya that that Tsunade was capable of controlling her chakra in order to look much younger than her actual age is. So she was able to use her own energy, chakra, ki, or whatever you want to call it, for self-preservation. But if you go back to Dragon Ball Z, it would be the same concept, using your energy for self-preservance. It's not really a, it's an open debate of whether or not they can survive in space, but a lot of people like to confuse it with breathing in space because they're idiots and they don't want to look shit up. I'm sorry, guys, but that's the truth. Yeah, and there's a lot of, debates in the Dragon Ball Wiki forum of whether or not they can breathe in outer space. But to be honest, there is no definite answer. But there are suggestions that it may be possible, although not definite. And again, everything really comes down to Akito Toriyama. If he says one day that, yeah, they're fighting in outer space, well then, we have our answer. And I definitely suck at this game, actually. But yeah, that's my I'm gonna be... But yeah, that's my rant, basically. But yeah, that's basically my rant. I just wanted to get that out because the guys from ScrewAttack, they don't do things properly. Whoa! Really? For anyone that's interested about this game, this is actually Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle. Ultimate Battle 22. Seeing as the Dragon Ball series is actually older than it is, this game was released in Japan first. So the series is much older than I believe. I really suck at this game. I definitely suck at this game. Oh god. But yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. It was total bullshit on top of that. I believe it was total bullshit. Superman just basically flying, walking right through Goku's Kamehameha in God mode on top of that. Huh. And what? But yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest about what they said. And also, you know... Oh, Vegeta. So, also, there should be an alternate ending. I really think so. There should be an alternate ending where Goku ends up blowing up the sun to limit Superman's powers. Because if, you all saw Doomsday, or whatever the movie's called, Superman's death, Superman gets beat up pretty badly due to the fact that the sun runs out. It ends up turning into nighttime because the battle is dragging on forever, and Superman doesn't have a chance to go into space and recover. Due to the fact that even if Superman left for like a brief moment, Doomsday would destroy the Earth and cause so much devastation. Not only that, but Doomsday pretty much had control of the fight for a moment. Anyways, what the fuck is up with this game? But yeah, Doomsday had control of the fight, pummeling Superman to a bloody pulp. Superman has limits, regardless of what they're saying. Superman is not limitless. Superman has his own limits. I mean, really, Superman is limited by the sun or any level of, solar radiation power. The fact that, not only that, Goku, if he never blew up the chunk of kryptonite, Goku could have killed Superman then and there. But Goku being the nice guy, Goku fucked up. Being the nice guy, he destroyed the kryptonite. But that isn't to say that there could have been another piece of kryptonite in the second fight, round 2. Possibly Goku could have used it to his advantage, but no. Goku could have used the kryptonite to his advantage in the second fight if he knew what it does. So, technically, no, not technically, 100% obviously, Goku would have killed Superman if Goku wasn't such a little nice guy and he used the kryptonite to his advantage. We all know that. They know that. There's no two ways about it. And all you little fanboys can just cry, cry, and cry. Because at the end of the day, even Lex Luthor, a human Lex Luthor, can beat the shit out of Superman with enough kryptonite. There. Done, and said. Don't like it? Don't care. You can respond to this if you want. I don't really care. Reply it or not. At the end of the day, Superman has a weakness. A little fucking rock. A green little fucking rock. What does Goku have as a weakness? I don't know. Does he even have a weakness? Besides being too nice at times, but that's besides the point. If Goku knew the effects of kryptonite the second time, and if there was kryptonite present, the fight would have gone a whole lot different than the first time. Goku would have used it as his advantage. So yeah, Goku would have used the kryptonite to his advantage the second time. He would have blown up the sun to limit Superman's powers already by a drastic amount. And if the fight carried on tonight, like it did in the first fight, well, Superman has no chance. Superman has no chance. And on top of that, even so, think about this. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, right? But we all know Super Saiyan 1 is not the maximum. Goku can go Super Saiyan 4. If they brought that into the fight, like they did the first time, Goku could go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 4, which we all know Goku's already the strongest fighter in his universe, apart from Beerus, or Whis even. So put that into consideration, guys. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 4 versus Superman. But, and imagine this. Hypothetically, Goku learns Kamehameha Kryptonite or something. A Kryptonite-based Kamehameha. It's over. Done and said, end of the day, I believe Goku could win a fight. But he has to be able to outsmart Superman and not be such a nice guy. That's my hypothesis, that's my opinion. But my main point, back to the main argument, can Goku breathe in outer space? No, he can't. Because it's impossible for anyone to breathe in outer space. Maybe if you're an alien race, like Frieza, then yes. Or a Zarbon, or a Majin Buu, or a Supreme Kai, even. But, I mean, breathing in outer space, I don't think it's possible. But, surviving in outer space is definitely possible. So, there you go, guys. Hit the comment sections below. Subscribe, rant all you want, really. You know, if this is something that you guys like hearing about, Dragon Ball Z and all this crap, well, I might do more if requested, maybe. This is my first time taking a crack at this kind of stuff. I mostly just do Let's Plays, but this isn't a Let's Play, this is just a, what is it? Conversation, contradiction, whatever thing. But, yeah, if requested, I'll probably do more in the future, apart from my Let's Plays. So, hit the comment section, hit the subscribe button, and, yeah, catch you next time, guys. Later.